Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about sports fields installs and the importance of each step. And then I'm going to show you another type of install, sports field install, that we do quite a bit and go through the process of that as well. So let me bring this up here on the screen. So this here is an area where we are digging out and getting it prepared, right? So right in the middle there was a huge crown, and we had to come in there and shave it off. And then the low spots, what we'll do is we'll use some of the dirt, compact it, and just really get it nice and even, um, with about a 0.25 crown across the top. Then here is where we're taking and putting the forms for the concrete for a basically a small wall right around the whole thing, a concrete curb, and we have half-inch rebar that goes in the middle of this. It's it's pretty complex for. I mean, it's a good concrete curb, and then we're gonna go to the next slide so I can kind of get into. So right here on the right side, you'll see a stake, and right behind it is an area that I'll show you here that you can see in the background where we're getting ready to dig out and trench for all the drainage. But this will be where it goes out, right? And then we tapped into the existing sewer line. So the the thing here that I want to point out is if you do sports fields, say for like homes and stuff like that, you really want to have a good concrete curb. And what we do for homes, because you're not going to have a big 10-inch drain it's coming off and stuff like that, what we'll do is we'll put like little wheat poles around the perimeter. And what it is we'll just cut some pieces of PVC, stick it in there before we pour the concrete. And what it does is it helps the moisture escape the area. So goes through the process here. And then this here, you'll see here on the bottom, you'll see a little bit of dirt showing. We actually pull those wrinkles out, but we'll put we'll put a geotextile fabric down first. And what this does is it's basically adding like 5 inches of soil. That's just or of rock. That's just how awesome you want. That's how great geotextile fabric is for the soil, for the compaction, and everything. So, and also when you're compacting your rock, you're not losing it in the soil. So go through here. We put the fabric down, drop a little bit of rock on it to help keep the wind from blowing, and then these drains here, they're called flat drains. Now there's two types. This one here is the ADS flat drain. The other flat drain that I like to use on sports fields is the J drain. I like it a lot, and it'll have the couplers that fit right into the ADS. So we get that done. There's another. That's just what it looks like. You want to make sure and they sell different types. You want to make sure to go ahead and have them sleeved. They'll come on big rolls. Unroll them. Let them go into the trench where the big drain is. Right, where everything falls into. And then you can see in the background here, we've started covering up the drains with rock, and you're just going to keep adding more and more rock. That way we can get this going. So, and that's the final product, nice and flat. Now, the one thing that this customer wanted that I typically don't like doing is I use 57 stone on the whole thing. I try to stay away from that. I like to put some fines on the top just so you got a little bit better compaction, and it it just seems like it's a little bit easier for the install. So having big rock like this, having to get in it level, it's a challenge, but it worked. And as you can see here, we're inlaying the the stripes. We come in, cut a 4 inch wide path. We have everything seamed together, cut into 4 inch wide. Then we have the white turf. We'll cut it 4 inches wide and start inlaying it as we're going. We let that dry, and here you go. You got the finished product. On this one as well, we like to do like 2 pounds of sand and then 2 pounds of rubber. This one here, the Department of Corrections, they had us do all rubber. So there's 4 pounds of rubber per square foot in this field. We had a nailer board around the whole area as well that we tied into the curb with and glued it down. We couldn't use any nails in this project because it was with the Department of Corrections. So, can't have any nails. So we used glue for the whole entire perimeter. Everything turned out beautiful. So that's a really quick rundown of a sports field. And then here is something else that we do a lot of: multifamily facilities. So we have these investors, these groups, they buy older multifamily facilities with the old tennis courts, right? So what we do, they hire us to come in and clean up their amenity areas. So here they've put in the pergola. We didn't do that. We come in and start transforming this area with what's called air-filled drain mats. And so we have the air-filled, as you see here. We'll start putting it in around the perimeter. We put a 1-inch composite decking material around the perimeter and put Tapcon screws and glue every 2 feet around the whole perimeter. And there's some spots where we leave just a little bit of gap so water does flow through. So that's what we do around the perimeter. And as you can see, where we're not finished here with the airfield, if you look towards the playground, you can see the 1 inch that's there. But a really cool thing here came a heavy rain, and as you can see, the concrete puddles, but nothing where the air drains at, because it sets an inch up off the concrete surface, or in this case, the old acrylic quartz. So if there's big gaps, we like to come in there with some self leveler, fill them in. But typically, your smaller gaps, what's really nice about the airfill, it saves money on labor because it bridges over those gaps. We can come in, lay this down, put the turf on top, say see you later. Kids love it. So we did a short turf here under the pergola because, hey, there could be pets and stuff like that. And it was a little bit easier to maintain. And then obviously on the main area, we turned it into a futsal field for soccer. So futsal is another, just like a 5-on-5, and turned it into a field. It works really great. One thing I will tell you, as you do fields, especially it's like soccer fields, a lot of people, not a lot of people, like uneducated people in the sports fields, that they just do landscape turf, they'll put in a minimum of infill and they'll say see you later. But what happens, I don't know how many times I've been called to come fix people's mistakes. What happens is people don't put enough infill in. So if your fibers are all laying this direction and you kick a soccer ball straight, it's going to go that direction, the same as the blades. So it's really, really important to make sure those blades are standing straight up, so that soccer ball, you get a true roll. And it's actually a lot easier on athletes as well because it's less drag on the athletes. So just make sure you have enough infill in. Make sure it passes all GMAX ratings. I mean, even if it's a yard, like a sports field for a yard, I always recommend doing the correct install, having the correct GMAX rating for in case someone was to ever get hurt. So it's a peace of mind. It's always better to do things the right way. Um, so that's a little bit about sports fields and the different types of installs. I know this was really quick, really brief, but hopefully this helps people with if they want a DIY installation of artificial turf for a sports field for their own house or anything like that. They can jump on here, look at it, get some tips and tricks. I'm always here to help. Nick at luxblades.com. Guys, look, I want a successful installation all the time. If you just started installing artificial turf, if you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out. Luxblades.com, Nick at luxblades.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope your install goes successful.